Imagine knowing exactly what is going to happen, knowing that the pain of losing a loved one will end, knowing that in just a few minutes everything will be fine, and yet you weep. This is exactly what happened to Jesus at the tomb of Lazarus. The shortest verse in the entire Bible, just 2 words, carries a profound theological weight that most people completely miss. Why? If he knew Lazarus would come back to life, if he himself declared, "I am the resurrection and the life," why the tears? Stick around until the end, because the answer will change how you see Jesus, and maybe even how you see your own suffering. The passage we are going to study today is in John chapter 11, verses 32 to 35. Entering our Unveiled Bible online sanctuary, we can see exactly how this passage is described in the sacred texts. Then when Mary was come where Jesus was, and saw him, she fell down at his feet, saying unto him, Lord, if thou hadst been here, my brother had not died. When Jesus therefore saw her weeping, and the Jews also weeping which came with her, he groaned in the spirit, and was troubled, and said, Where have ye laid him? They said unto him, Lord, come and see. Jesus wept. In this last sentence we have 2 words, 1 revelation. To understand why Jesus wept, you need to understand what was happening at that exact moment. We are at the end of Jesus' ministry. He has already performed miracles. He has already confronted Pharisees. He has already walked on water. Lazarus, brother of Mary and Martha, was one of his closest friends. The Bible does not use the word friend lightly. John 11:3 says, Lord, the one you love is sick. It was a relationship of real affection. At this moment, Jesus was on the other side of the Jordan River, in the region of Perea, about a 2-day walk from Bethany. It was a place where he had withdrawn with the disciples, away from the growing pressure of the religious leaders in Jerusalem, who were already planning to kill him. The message from the sisters reaches him there, and then he does something that seems cruel at first glance. He waits 2 more days before leaving. Why? Because he knew that something greater was about to happen. In first-century Jewish culture, there was a belief that the soul remained close to the body for 3 days after death. After that, death was considered absolutely final and irreversible. Jesus arrives on the 4th day, not by carelessness, by choice. He wanted there to be no possible doubt. Lazarus was dead, truly dead, with no possible human return. When Jesus finally arrives in Bethany, the scene is one of total devastation. Mary throws herself at his feet, crying. The Jews who were with her, crying. The house consumed by grief. And there, in the face of all this, Jesus was deeply moved, was troubled, and wept. Now comes the part that many preachers breeze right past, but it is the richest part of all. In the original Greek of the New Testament, there are different words for weeping, and John chose each of them with surgical precision. When describing the weeping of Mary and the Jews, he uses the word kleo, which means to wail out loud, an echoing cry, open mourning. But when describing Jesus' weeping, John uses another word, dakrio, which means to shed tears silently, a contained weeping, profound, coming from the inside out. Jesus was not losing control. He was feeling it, truly. And before the tears, the text says he was deeply moved in spirit. The Greek word here is embrimaomai, and it is even more powerful. It indicates a visceral agitation, almost an inner indignation, a stirring that comes from deep within. The Church Fathers interpreted this trembling of Jesus as a holy anger against death, against what sin had done to God's creation. Jesus was not resigned to it. He was furious with death. And this brings us to the reasons for the tears. Before getting into them, I need to be honest with you. What you are about to see is not my opinion, nor a creative interpretation. These reasons emerge directly from the exegetical analysis of the original Greek text, the same text that Bible scholars from different traditions have examined word for word over the centuries. When you look at the Greek, the reasons for Jesus' weeping are not speculation. They are written in the text itself, waiting to be read carefully. What historical theology did was systematize what the text already said. And there are at least 3 reasons that John himself recorded, each of them revealing something about who Jesus is. Reason 1, he wept for the pain of the people around him. Jesus did not weep for Lazarus. He knew Lazarus would come back. He wept for Mary, collapsed on the ground. He wept for Martha, who said, "If you had been here." He wept for the Jews who mourned without hope. His tears were an act of solidarity. He didn't look at that pain from afar, from above, with divine coldness. He stepped into it. He went down into that dark place with the people he loved. This is what true empathy does. It doesn't just understand someone else's pain, it feels it with them. Reason 2, he wept at the reality of death. Even knowing he would resurrect Lazarus, Jesus felt the weight of what death represents for humanity. Death is not natural. Death is an invasion. It is the result of sin in the world. Romans 6:23. Jesus, upon seeing its effects, the pain, the separation, the grief, manifests God's sorrow over this condition. He was not pretending to suffer. He suffered because it never should have existed. Reason 3, he wept because he loved those who were present, did not fully understand what was happening, but they came to a simple and powerful conclusion. See how he loved him. John 11:36. Jesus' tears were not a performance, they were proof, and this love was so real that it became action. He walked to the tomb, ordered the stone to be removed, and shouted into the darkness, "Lazarus, come out!" And Lazarus came out. The resurrection of Lazarus was not just a miracle, it was a prelude. Jesus was showing, before his own death and resurrection, that he holds authority over the grave. That death does not have the final word, that he is not merely someone who heals, he is the resurrection and the life. And just as Lazarus had been dead for 4 days and came back to life by the voice of Jesus, you too might be in a tomb today, a tomb of pain, of disappointment, of sin, of emptiness. And the voice that called Lazarus is the same voice that can call you back. Jesus wept. 2 words that prove you do not serve a distant, cold, or indifferent God. You serve a God who came down to your level, who felt what you feel, who weeps with those who weep, and who, even knowing the end of the story, still cares about your pain in the middle of it. If you are going through a season of grief today, whether for someone you lost, for the person you used to be, or for a dream that died, know this: Jesus is there. And he is not indifferent. He sees, he feels, and he has the power to call what you considered lost back to life. If this video resonated with you today, please leave a like and, if possible, share your thoughts in the comments. Doing this really helps the channel grow and allows us to share this message with more people of faith. Before I sign off, I invite you to watch our video about one of the most misunderstood things Jesus ever said. Is it really possible that Jesus told us to hate our father and mother, considering he was the greatest advocate of love? Stick with us on this journey, and I promise you, the true meaning behind this phrase will surprise you. Keep your eyes always open, and I'll see you in the next video.